Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. We have all of your Tesla stock breaking news today, and there's actually quite a bit of it. Andre Carpathy on X says large language model size competition is intensifying backwards. He says he thinks that we'll see models that think very well and reliably, that are very, very small. Going on to say it's a staircase of improvement of one model helping to generate the training data for the next until we're left with perfect training sets. Elon Musk comments on this and says, yup, same thing happening with real world AI at Tesla. Basically saying Tesla is able to do more with less. Tesla has released a new video about their virtual power plants to support the grid and get paid for doing it. This is a paid advertisement. It's also being reported that all CyberBeast owners are currently being emailed that they are in the venue to receive the off-road light bar. Stellantis paid $190 million in civil penalties for failing to meet U.S. fuel economy requirements for 2019 and 2020 and owes an additional $459 million in outstanding penalties, government documents show. And this is pretty big news today. Canada has granted Tesla an exemption for the Cybertruck, allowing the company to use steer-by-wire. Quote, the purpose of this exemption is to allow Tesla Motors Canada ULC Tesla to use a highly variable steer-by-wire system that does not have the minimum steering angle of 270 degrees as required for testing. And as Wes says here on X, he is the Cybertruck lead engineer. This is an important milestone on our way to Canada. And the Cybertruck official X account says they're still aiming for a launch in Canada this year. Motor Trend says EVs are here to stay. Deal with it. There's a misbegotten belief that EVs are failing, that they're unwanted, or even that they're worse for the environment. They're quantifiably better for the environment, and their sales are up almost across the board. Now, take a listen to what Bill Gates just said about Elon Musk.
In the climate fight, one of the other people sort of most associated with green technology, of course, is Elon Musk. Do you talk to him much these days?
I've talked to Elon recently. We were at an event together called the Breakthrough Prize in LA, and I said hi to him, but Tesla's a huge contribution to driving the car industry towards electric.
And on Tesla, I mean, more than anyone else, Elon Musk, I think, has sort of shown that green technology and green solutions can be cool and exciting and worth buying. But are you disappointed that Elon doesn't really seem to talk much about climate these days? He's more interested in talking about culture wars and other issues.
He talks a lot. I hope he'll talk more about climate. He's very, very smart. He's made a contribution within that area that is super important.
What would you like him to talk when he talks about climate? What would you like him to say?
I don't think he'll listen to anybody telling him what to talk about. So, he's unique, and he'll talk about whatever he.
It doesn't sound like he's still short in Tesla's stock to me, but let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section. China's biggest smartphone maker, Xiaomi, has unveiled the SU7 Ultra prototype EV, 0 to 60 in 1.9 seconds, 1,548 horsepower. That's insane. Just mind-blowing number there. Top speed 217 miles per hour. Korean-based Tesla supplier Futronic is setting up a facility near Giga Texas, expected to bring over 300 jobs to the area. They build powertrain parts. Lucid CEO Peter Rawlinson says, quote, we got more range than anyone else with just 88 kilowatt-hour packs, now an 84 kilowatt-hour pack for 2025, which is smaller, lighter, and much less costly than the competition, and that's why we can offer Lucid Air Pure cheaper than Tesla. Lucids are still way more expensive than Teslas, so we'll see what he's really alluding at here. Lucid just loses so much money on each vehicle they sell. Odds are their days are limited anyways. Ford has canceled its plans to go all electric in the European market by 2030, saying that it was too ambitious. Quote, I don't think we can go all in on anything until our customers decide they're all in. John Carmack says this about Tesla's FSD approach, quote, "I am feeling very confident about this bet. I have made multiple 2-hour drives without touching the wheel." He says there was uncertainty that working in all the possible situations might be an AGI complete problem. You work almost everything out, but you can't just get to that crucial last bit reliable enough. I now think they will be able to data it across the finish line without any research breakthroughs. Quote, "Move fast and breakthroughs really is the most effective way to build new things. And that just isn't an option with passengers on public roads." So cheers to the team for attacking a daunting but grand and worthy task. Elon Musk responds to John Carmack and says, "Tesla has done so much that would be considered AI research breakthroughs, but we are laser focused on making it work rather than crowning about breakthroughs. Having a large fleet is only one piece of the puzzle. Plenty of other car companies produce way more cars than Tesla, but are nowhere on generalized self-driving." And one of the main advantages that Tesla has always had, that Tesla has really foreseen years down the line, was putting these FSD chips in all the cars that they sell, whether or not people actually get FSD or not. So you could just flip a switch and turn on this FSD software. If a GM or Ford or Toyota, for that matter, wanted to follow a similar route, it would cost them billions and billions of dollars, if it's even possible, to recall all of their vehicles, voluntary of course, and put a self-driving chip in them. Which I don't even know if that's actually possible with the cars being put together. Maybe it would just be way too much work to take them apart. But that's, I would say, Tesla's biggest advantage right now. Well, Tesla's biggest advantage is having Elon Musk as the CEO, but that's probably number 2. And as I said in some of the last videos, I think you're going to have this NVIDIA moment in terms of Tesla stock doing what NVIDIA stock has done in recent years. When the markets stop paying as much attention on the GPU providers, the enablers of AI, and they start focusing on the scalers of AI. If you look at the scalers of AI, I mean, Tesla is the only company that really stands out there. You have Google, you have Microsoft with large language models and, things of that nature. But who's actually solving a real world AI problem to the size and scale of Tesla? Nobody's even coming close. There's just no competition. And for that reason, I think Tesla's going to garner a lot of attention and investments when this realization does happen, that Wall Street wants to be invested in the scalers of real world AI, not just the hardware providers of real world AI. Now, again, there's going to be a place for NVIDIA and SMCI and all of these other companies. Don't get me wrong. I don't think they're going to do terrible by any means, but I think the attention will change to who's providing real world AI. That's going to be an open-ended question, and some companies Wall Street's going to feel more confident in than others. And Tesla, is the top dog on that list. And I think especially when rates do start to fall, it will become very clear quickly that Tesla is the best surefire bet that you have on AI. So for that reason, I think the next 6 to really 12 months should start to get a lot of that optimism really flowing for Tesla. Now, with that said, currently over on StockTwits, the sentiment is 33, which is bearish. Yesterday, it was neutral at 54. Message volume today is normal at 48. Yesterday, it was normal at 46. And the participation ratio is normal today at 54. For your Google Trends data, the Cybertruck is sitting at 60, the Model Y at 24, the Model 3 going up a little bit to 23, the Model S at 10, and the Model X at 8. Google Trends data for full self-driving is now sitting at 18, which is largely, again, back to where you were before this free trial started. Global inventory numbers for Tesla have went up a little bit recently. The Model Y at about 6,000, the Model 3 at 4,400, the Model X at 3,300, and the Model S at 2,800. Tesla continues to run about 4,000 different ads with Google. Last week for Tesla, via the interesting flow sentiment over on Ortex, you had 127 different institutional interesting trades, totaling about $95 million with a positive order value of 35%. If you take a look at the short position in Tesla, it is down about 0.05%, which is pretty much nothing. You're still sitting near multi-year highs for the overall short position. Still 3.79% short interest of free float, $26.21 billion currently sold short in Tesla stock, totaling 105.17 million shares. The percent of stocks currently trading above their 50-day moving average on Friday fell to 63.37%. 3.4% of all stocks fell under their 50-day moving average on Friday. So you're still sitting at a decent level, but you are starting to come down. And I'm kind of looking at this in terms of this correction that we're currently going through. Once this gets back down to like the 30s, that's potentially when you want to start looking more closely at buying the dip in some of your favorite names. 10-year Treasury yields on Friday did also advance about 5.5 basis points up to 4.24%, and this did put some downside pressure on equities. The S&P was down 0.66% on Friday, really just nosediving in the last couple of days. This mainly has to do with some pre-earnings jitters, perhaps. That could make sense. A little bit of profit taking before your big tech earnings that really get going here over the next week or two. But for the most part, it is your political volatility. The fact that we're getting a lot of reports that Joe Biden could step down as early as this Sunday. Again, it's conflicting because some reports say by this Sunday. Biden said just yesterday that they'll be back on the campaign trail coming on Monday. So there's a lot of conflicting things going on here. But if Biden were to step down, there would be a new candidate step up with new policies that we've never seen before. And that would definitely cause uncertainty that the markets do not like uncertainty. And that tends to cause downside for stocks. And as I mentioned before, I think you really want to watch your moving averages here. Your 50-day moving average at about 538, your 100-day moving average at 524, and your 200-day moving average at 491. I don't think you fall under this 200-day moving average unless things were pretty bad, unless the economy continues to look bad and it looks like the Fed is potentially cutting into a recession. That's where you get steeper downside under that 200-day moving average, but I don't think that's a likely base case assumption at this point. And for Tesla stock, we'll talk about this a little bit more in the next video because Tesla reports earnings in this upcoming week, and I want to give you a deep dive breakdown of my expectations around earnings, good and bad things that could potentially happen. But same is true here. You want to watch this 20-day moving average at about $230 per share, but really the only level that matters is about $225 per share. You want to just stay above this longer term downtrending trend line that we recently broke above and actually gapped up afterwards. Right here, this was on July 3rd. You gapped up 6.5% following a 10.2% up day, and before that was a 6% up day. So you pretty easily broke above this long-term trend, and since Tesla trades so closely with the overall technicals, you really just want to hold this trend level. So that is going to go ahead and do it for this video. That is what you need to know. Hit that like button as well as subscribe to the channel. You guys have a fantastic rest of your day, and I will see you in the next one.